Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. So today's video I'm just going through and working on two commission pieces. Both of these are from characters from like the game Destiny that they're based off of, since the second one, his helmet is sort of like a mashup that I made, so that one isn't actually like in-game or anything, but this one is. So with these two commissions, I actually got them from my fiance's friend, since every Monday they go through and they roleplay for the Destiny role-playing game that they're sort of building together. So yeah, he wanted two of the character icons that I'm doing right now, since my fiance is using one that I drew of my own Destiny 1 characters, what it's based off of my hunter. And with that one I actually used markers for it, and with these two I'm using just watercolor. I believe I don't think there's gouache in this piece. So yeah, I'm just going through with watercolor for both of these, and this first helmet here is in the game. The second one I went through and, like I said, did a mashup of the two, and I'll talk more about it when it's on screen. But for this one I actually had a lot of fun with it, trying to like mix the orange colors. I really enjoyed doing the orange of the helmet here. Surprisingly, this helmet was harder to draw than the other one, even though the other one I like had to make from, I think it was like 2 or 3 different references I had. But yeah, I had a harder time with this one, mostly like right where the mouthpiece would be there. That part was annoying to deal with. And then just like the way that it's shaped and everything. I think when I add the highlights to this one though, it definitely turned out a lot better than what it looks right now. But yeah, it was definitely fun working on like armor pieces again. I think I wanted like dive more into doing pieces that use armor rather than the stuff that I usually do. Examples would be like, I want to do a Samus piece with her armor. I want to do like Zero Suit Samus like in the front, and then like a close-up of her armor like behind her or something is one thing that I was thinking of doing. And I was also thinking of doing like a diva mecha piece, just because I actually have a lot of fun like just drawing armor and stuff that I didn't realize, since I haven't drawn armor since I think my last drawing my Destiny Hunter character. And it's complex, and it like puts me out of my comfort zone, so that's why I really enjoy doing that. So yeah, you might see some more like armor video game pieces in the future, especially since I have Anime North coming up as a convention, and it is for sure confirmed now that I am going to be in Anime North, which is super nerve-wracking since now I can't back out of it. I've paid for it, can't be refunded, can't back out of it. So every time I start to think like, oh, I really should do this, it's a bad idea, I have to go, no, you have to do this because you already paid for it and there's no refund on it, and this is something that you want to do. So I need to get some prints done, and I want to do more like video game prints as well as a couple more anime prints. My next video is going to be one of the anime prints that I have done, and it's probably the biggest piece of art I've done so far. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for that first Destiny Titan. And now I'm going on to the second one. So I think this one I had like 3 references for. I think like one of them was for like the fur, and then another one was for like the helmet part, and then the last one was like for the horns. And then I just sort of like mashed all 3 together to make this helmet here. And I actually really like the way it came out. My only issue with it is the horns I feel like turned out a little too dark for myself. especially since at the end I ended up having to go over it again with my ink pen, just since you couldn't see like the lines in the horns. I think they were brown when I did it, and then when I redid them I had to do it in black so you could see it. So I think I made the horns like just like a little too dark because you couldn't see the lines, but other than that, that's really the only thing that I didn't really like. So yeah, I also did like the runes in this, and I wasn't like sure what kind of runes to do, so my fiance just like looked it up and was like, do these ones. So I was like, okay. Since the guy that wanted this character wanted like runes in the horns, and I tried to like, when you'll see it when I go through it, but I tried to take the orange and sort of take it outside the line so it looked like it was, I guess, glowing more so. But when I did that, it just didn't really look that good. And yeah, you can see I just like picked it up there with my paper towel because I could not like it. So instead, what I ended up doing is I re-outlined the runes after it was dried, and I think I re-outlined them in red, and then I took my white gel pen in the very center of it just to sort of give like that it's glowing, since like the dark outside and then the orange and then the lightest in the center. So I think that turned out well. I'm really also happy with how it's designed for the helmet too. I also add white gel pen in all of the little, I don't know what to call it, like studs, I guess, of the helmet. So once that's added as well, it also looks a lot better. Just since right now it's just sort of like two tones of gray and then like a little bit of the shadows. So one of the videos I plan on doing in the future is sort of like a 1-year update on the watercolor supplies that I've been using. So I've noticed that with some of my supplies, after having them for, I'd say, about a year, I think one of my watercolor palettes I've had for almost 2 years now, maybe a year and a half. I've noticed that the quality of certain things have gone down, and I thought it might be interesting to do like a review on the supplies like a year later, or like 2 years later for the one palette. So if people are interested in that, please leave a comment down below. Hopefully I can get to it before Anime North in May, but we'll see. Just since I'm doing so many prints right now for that, I don't want to make more work for myself when I can just like do voiceovers for these prints. So we'll see how soon I do that. It might be closer to a year and a half having some of the watercolor palettes and 2 for the other one. But we'll see when we get there. But yeah, so with the fur, I had a little bit of trouble with this. With the 2 watercolor palettes I have currently, the brown doesn't really get too dark, so I did have to like mixed like a couple different brown colors trying to like get it dark enough that I wanted it to, because I didn't want it to look super light, but I also didn't want it to look like super dark either. And I debated on leaving like some white splotches for like lighting, but instead I decided to take my white gel pen and do like the highlights that way, just since they would stand out more and it'd look more like piecey, almost like there's lighter parts to the fur. So that's why I decided to go with it. I'm glad I went with that instead. And yeah, I'm just going over the line art and redoing the line art now, which I've already talked about. So I guess that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and next week it's gonna be a long video since it's like the longest painting I've ever done. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week for next week's video. Bye!